If I can have your attention here in the deadline room, we are now going to continue on with today's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability. And we are joined by Clint Bowyer, driver of the number 14 Haas Automation Ford for Stewart Haas Racing. Clint, people have said this is the year of Clint Boyer's rebirth in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Does it feel that way for you, and how enjoyable is that?
I don't know about birth. I don't feel old, but you know, it's certainly an exciting year, a fun year, an anticipated year, you know, for me. So things are going good. Things are going relatively smooth. You know, you always want to be better. You always want to be contending for wins each and every week. That, you know, that's what they pay us for. But so far, so good. You know, we weathered the West Coast storm. You know, and he got back, and, you know, now it's the guys are hard at work, you know, trying to improve on any little thing that we need improved on. And, you know, it's just fun to go to the race shop every week and be talking about what we're going to do to get better for the following week.
Okay, we will start here with Drew on the left and then go to Claire.
Clint, Drew Davison for Star Telegram. Can you, on your left.
There you are.
Yeah. Can you talk about kind of the new pavement and what you expect from Texas, and you feel like it could be a good thing for you to maybe restart, regenerate, whatever you want to say, of some good runs here at Texas?
Man, I don't know what to expect. And the good news is I don't think anybody else does either until we get these hot rods on the racetrack and you know, get a feel for the grip level that the track has. I can tell you, I went for a walk last night, and Cash had his little car, and he slid off the bank, so I knew it's pretty slick. I know that's what we're all going to fight. You know, just finding a good, happy balance on this thing. The lower downforce package is certainly going to be alive. You're going to be fighting that on these conditions like this with a hard tire and a fresh repave. I mean, these things either make a lot of grip and you're happy, or they don't. And the second they don't, it's like being on ice and you're just up on top of the racetrack and begging for an adjustment. You know, practices are going to be a premium. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to find that grip level on, you know, in a good balance. And I think in doing so, the tricky part is I think you're going to have a ever-changing track too, as we keep rubbering this track up more and more and more, getting laps on our tires. These hard tires, seems like in the past, they keep getting better and better, you know, as they go. So the combination of all this is certainly, you know, going to have the workload high this weekend on the teams and the engineers and certainly the drivers. So looking forward to the challenge.
Okay, we're going to go to your right to Claire, and then to Bob, and then to Lee.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Some of the Xfinity racers said, thank goodness you guys are practicing first, because they're going to be watching.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd pack the track for us. I don't know. Eddie needs to, you know, that's short track 101. You have the sport classes pack the track for you. What the hell?
So there you have it. What do you think you're going to learn in the first practice? How much time do you think it will take, maybe even to the middle of the race, or maybe not even this race, for you guys to really figure it out?
Oh, I think it's, you know, these teams are so good with the experience, with the technology and everything that we have. You know, the tools that the guys you have, it's incredible to see them go through a race weekend, whether it's a new pavement or an old pavement or whatever the case may be, to find that optimum grip load in the car and you know, ultimately make those things fast. They'll have them trimmed out. You know, that's the crazy thing about these teams is how well they can get these cars, how close they can get them to 100%. And you know, mechanical grip is what I'm talking about. You know, obviously aero grip and things like that are some things you can adjust here and some things you can't adjust here. But at the end of the day, all these teams in this garage at this level are capable of getting that thing pretty close to 100%. That being said, you got to unload a good hot rod. You know, the guys had to do a good job at the shop and bring a car capable of getting the job done for these teams that are at the track, to go to work and you know, have their turn at bat. I think it's just everybody's been nervous about this one. You know, nobody's tested here. Nobody really knows what to expect until we get on the racetrack. And to answer your question, how long is it going to take? Who knows? Nobody knows.
Okay, we're going to go to Bob, then to Lee, and then to Joe.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. Are you wearing any of the like heart monitor or biometric devices that give you the information?
Hell no.
Okay.
Why?
That's
I don't. Last time I checked, nobody has ever paid me to wear a heart monitor or to do anything other than finish these races up front and hopefully win them. No, I'm sure mine's probably high and low. Just depends on what it is. But I can guarantee you this. Anybody's heart monitor in these cars, I can promise you, if something bad happens or they get cut off or crashed, that's probably going to be their peak moment.
okay.
Not driving in the corner. We have power steering, Bob.
Yeah. I have another question. Kyle Larson last week talked about how he runs dirt races, obviously because he likes it, but also because he feels like it's a good connection to roots.
It is.
You own dirt track teams. Is there anything that drivers or NASCAR can do to help with the connection to like weekly or local tracks?
It's the reason that I have 2 dirt late model teams that compete all across the country. It was my dream to do that, and I think it's my obligation, racing at this level, to still go back and visit these grassroots, short tracks all across the country. The weekly racing is what put me on the map and gave all of us an opportunity to showcase our talents to the race teams and stuff that we're racing for today. So, yes, that's our, that's the support series. That's the level that gets everybody here. It's not just drivers, it's crew members, it's engineers, crew chiefs, over the wall guys. Everything that you see that makes up the Cup Series all starts in one way, shape, or form in a weekly racing series somewhere across the country. So I love being a part of that. As long as I've told my guys, they always ask every year, do I got a job? I said, as long as you see my ass in a Cup car, don't you worry about your job.
Go next to Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Can you talk about the evolution of your relationship with Bugga? And he seems like a no-nonsense kind of guy, where you're probably a complete nonsense kind of guy. So how do you mesh the two personalities together?
Complete? You gave me a complete nonsense guy.
Well, you
Is
know
that
what I
like-
mean. You're like fun and games, and Bugga doesn't give me that
No,
impression.
it's the hardest thing to try to get a laugh out of him or a rise in any way, shape, or form, other than just pissed or or just completely disgusted with me. But it is a lot of fun. He's young. That's a neat thing about Mike is how young he is compared to a lot of his peers, at his profession. And the work ethic is what you care about, and I think that's what he cares about in me. As long as I show up from my meetings and I take my work serious, that's the thing about me. People don't see that side. I want to run up front. I want to compete, and that's why I go. Get out of bed and go to work. That's why you go each and every weekend, drag your family all across the country to do this, because you love to do it and you want to compete and you want to win these races. It's been a while since I've had somebody as dedicated as Mike is. I mean, he's the guy that you literally have to say, Mike, go home, go eat a dinner with your family, take your wife out to dinner, do something, get your mind off this. He'll call you at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and he's still at the shop working with his head in his computer. I mean, that work ethic is instilled in pretty much everybody at Stewart-Haas, and Mike's no exception. So, very fortunate to have him. He's brought me a lot of good hot rods already, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So, personality-wise, probably not. No, I would say you're spot on. We're definitely polar opposites, but at the end of the day, when you run up front and you finish up front, everybody's happy. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Yep.
Okay, we're going to go to Joe, then to Jim, and then over to Mark.
Joe Medzer, Fox Sports. You've talked about the pavement, the repave. What about the reconfiguration of turns 1 and 2? Is that as much of a concern, more of a concern? And also, do you think what you went through last year is making you enjoy this year that much more?
Yeah, I think that the pavement and the entrance to turn 1 definitely feels quite a bit different, just driving around in a pace car. And actually the exit of 2 is probably the biggest change. It seems like as far as the bottom goes down, to the apron, how they extended the width of the racetrack, really you feel that a lot more off of 2. Used to run out of real estate in a big way. It feels like, you got room to actually let it have its head a little bit more, as you're exiting, maybe even earlier than you did before. So it's hard to tell when you're going around there in a pace car at 100 mile an hour and you go around there cycling around there 200 mile an hour in a cup car. When you get in it, business picks up in a big way, and what you may have thought was the right way around isn't. I do know that they burnt some rubber with the rollers, whatever you want to call it. The track is really clean down on the bottom, and it seems like the preferred groove right now. We'll have to see if that widens out with momentum. And like I said, when you get cars out there going that much faster than a passenger car, who knows where it's going to be, where the happy spot's going to be in that racetrack. But for right now, from what I've seen, it's going to be on the bottom. Last year. No, I think I was prepared to enjoy this year, even last year. I mean, it's just something that this is an opportunity that doesn't come along very often, whether it was my first opportunity in this sport or the last, to be able to drive equipment like I'm driving, the manufacturer and Ford, their support that they're giving us, everybody at Stewart-Haas, the management, the sponsors, the teammates. The teammates are so, you just don't put enough emphasis on the impact that a good teammate can have on you. Drivers capable of winning races, winning championships. I got 2 championship-winning race car drivers as teammates. Danica, everything that she brings for our whole entire sport, let alone our company and Stewart-Haas Racing. So, this is the opportunity that you're almost giddy about no matter where you're at in your career.
Jim?
Jim Hunter, motorsport.com. He kind of asked you similar to my question, but just to kind of expand on it. You talked a lot looking forward to coming into the season, and while it's only been about 6 races, is it everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to struggle. There's nothing in this sport at this level that comes easy. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter what racetrack you're at or what the circumstances are. It's always hard because there's always the next guy that's working every bit as hard as you are to accomplish the same goal. That being said, I knew it was going to be a lot of fun. I'm very well aware of Kevin. After we were teammates, we remained friends. We've done a lot of things off the racetrack together. I was really excited to get back to working with him because literally everything I've ever learned in this series, in this sport of racing heavy race cars, was always in his seat with his pedals, where his steering wheel was. I mean, it was, hey, you want to get in? That was where Kevin had it, and I didn't know any better. Never drove one before, so literally everything I ever did when I learned how to drive these cars was how Kevin did it. What Stewart-Haas? What do you want to do with your pedals? What do you do to the seat? Hell, I don't know. How's Kevin have them? That's probably pretty good to me. It's been that way my whole career. Might as well stay that way. And then Kurt. I mean, Kurt really dissects his car more than anything that I've ever heard or I've felt, and it really gets your mind going of maybe what you thought or tripped a trigger somewhere of, yeah, maybe that's what I was feeling and thought I was feeling something else. So it's a breath of fresh air to be in a competition meeting and a debrief meeting and working on the next week or even the race after practice. It's pretty cool to have those guys' input going into the race or into the following week.
We'll go to Mark and then to Jerry.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Clint, the way you were talking about the short tracks here moments ago, anything about that you ever miss? Is there something about that you think back and go like, that'd be pretty cool to try to do that again?
Well, I think, unfortunately, my days came and gone for that. That being said, both my drivers, I think one's 51 and one's 52 and one's like 48. So I've got a long ways to go to work on my short track career. My 51-year-old fell off a piece of machinery. I think he's 52, sorry. I think he fell off a piece of machinery, broke his tailbone, called me the night before the race. The next night he wins with a broken tailbone. So I guess there's no chance of me growing up anytime soon and probably will be doing that. But it's so important. It's cool that Eddie's put this race together here this weekend. I don't like having these racetracks with the racetrack sitting right next door. Perfect opportunity to showcase some more racing for our fans. Let's use it. If all it is a water truck and a tractor, let us work on it. We got the best track operator there is with Tony, and I think he's going over there to work on his track for the conditions of his own race. I think that tells you how much short track racing means to us racers. It's a big part of our lives. It always was a big part of our lives and still is today.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Not a racing question, it's more of a logistics question. Do you still have the plane that you bought several years ago, and how does that help you, if you do, get back and forth and travel? Because some of us yesterday had some serious logistics problems with travel.
And that's why we have planes. We have to. You know what I mean? I mean, could you imagine not getting here for practice? Don't mean to be, you could probably do your job with Wi-Fi connection from the airport if you had to. I don't think the Wi-Fi connection is going to get me paid if I miss Texas Motor Speedway. So, you know, that's a big part, a big expense that we have in all of our lives. But it's worth it. I mean, it's for sponsorship, you know, commitments throughout the week. You know, you never know when those are going to be. You never know. A lot of them are scheduled, but you never know when a sponsor is going to say, "Hey, I messed up. I need you. Can you be here tomorrow?" You know, that plane provides that opportunity to be there and capitalize on that moment for them and keep them happy, which keeps them on the side of them race cars. Yep.
Any additional questions for Clint? Clint, thanks for joining us today. Good
Thanks,
luck
guys.
this weekend.
Have a good week.